City builder, tower defense type crosses seem to be getting popular, and Cataclismo is just one of them. Its art style and interesting campaign give it something unique, but does that make it any good? Watch on and find out. My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play. I've been focusing on city builders recently on Strategy for Busy People, but that doesn't mean they all have to fit the traditional mold. This time around, let's look at Cataclismo by Digital Sun. I've got just over 8 hours in this game. Now, when I talk about the traditional mold of a city builder, I'm talking about things like roads, transit, taxes, and the like. Cataclismo has none of those things. In fact, it's probably much more like an RTS than a city builder, so it was already on shaky ground for me. I suppose that's a pun since this game is really dealing with building the wall. I mean, building walls, more than one wall. The game is fundamentally pretty simple and very clearly takes from the tower defense genre as far as I'm concerned. Step 1. Build defenses. Step 2. Hope that your defenses hold when the wave comes. In the case of Cataclismo, the defenses that you are building are the aforementioned walls, which are castle walls in actuality. And Digital Sun did a good job in sticking to the medieval-feeling castle-y trope. You have gates and parapets and windows and bridges and all kinds of things that you might find in a castle. But unlike in Be Castled, which you reviewed the other day, in Cataclismo you only have ranged units. To facilitate the construction of said walls and other defenses, you need resources, and this is where the game starts to feel like an RTS. You have to build housing to get people who can turn into workers or fighters. Your workers have to work in resource gathering facilities, for which there are only a few. Wood, stone, metals, oxygen, and mist. You see, there's this strange mist which is not good for breathing, so you have to collect oxygen to, breathe, but that mist can also be harnessed to power more advanced creations. Seems simple enough. In another common trope across both RTSs and city builders, as you reach certain construction milestones, you can level up your settlement, which enables the construction of more stuff. Your level 1 settlement can't build anything particularly fancy, but when you get to level 2, your options open up. One of the things that you are afforded at a higher level of settlement are what I will just call upgrade stations for your fighters. In another medieval trope, your archers can be upgraded with fire arrows, and your throwing units can be upgraded with poison. Both of these things can make those units do more damage, which is nice. Then there are also enhancements to the castle walls that can enable your units to shoot further or do more damage. These upgrades are placed on the castle walls, and your units have to be within their area of effect to, be, affected. The game has a little bit of a puzzly feel to it because the terrain is not just one big flat open space. You know where the horde is going to come from, so you have to look at the open space available to you and then construct your defenses there to fit. Now, earlier I mentioned the campaign mode. There was a story about who cares. It's a typical fantasy-ish, quote, the evil is coming and only one can stop it kind of thing. It's fine. And it does a good job of explaining why you have this hero unit. The other thing that the campaign mode offers is the ability to pick and choose certain upgrades that you will get during your missions. The really, really nice thing about those upgrades is that they are perfectly refundable. If you try a mission and decide you want a different set of upgrades, you can go back and swap out your upgrades and try again. The upgrades are all the types of things you might expect. Improvements to your fighters, improvements to your defenses, or improvements to your hero. But being able to swap them out at will was a great choice by the developers. Another really cool choice that they made was the ability to roll back time. Sure, it's just giving scum saving a name, but it's nice to see a developer fully embrace the idea that you're going to make mistakes and want to undo them. Yet another cool choice in this game is the ability to infinitely pause while you do your construction. And on top of that, you can typically reconstruct your walls at little to no cost. So while there is some time pressure in terms of getting everything done before the horde comes, it doesn't have quite the frenetic and fast-paced feeling that most RTSs do. You're not often feeling rushed, with a caveat. The caveat is that there is only a fixed amount of time before the horde comes, and you can only gather resources so quickly. Sure, at different settlement upgrade levels you can enhance your resource gathering abilities, but you have to get to those settlement upgrades in the first place. I never actually made it past the third or fourth campaign mission because I fell into an interesting trap. The trap of knowledge. See, I was getting interested in the game, so I looked up some wall building strategies from other YouTubers, and then I tried to employ those wall building strategies myself. You would think that this would be a good thing, but it turned out to be a bad idea. Why? Overbuilding. Because you can only gather resources so quickly, and because you have secondary goals in the campaign that involve constructing certain things, it's easy to end up using too many resources for building insanely strong defenses and then not having enough resources for the settlement upgrades you need. So I found myself with impenetrable defenses that didn't match the scale of the enemy attack and then not having enough resources to complete some other aspect of the mission. Tall walls are good, and stacking them taller makes them stronger with a bonus height buff. But your archers can't get to the top of that super tall wall magically. You have to build wooden staircases to get them there. That costs wood, and the taller the staircase, the more wood you need. So I ended up being behind on other mission objectives, or not being able to build the final defenses needed for the last wave. After failing in this same way several times, I decided I had had enough. Sort of? So what you really need to do is to build just enough and no more than you need to get the job done. And that's a hard thing to limit yourself to. Before I give my final verdict, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Agree with me, disagree with me, or want to see other content? Let me know in the comments below. Want to try this game yourself? Check out my humble affiliate link below. And if you want to support me in making more of these videos, become a patron on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference. The final verdict. In addition to the campaign mode, there are also quite a few skirmish maps that put you into different scenarios to see how you do. There's also an, quote, endless mode where the waves never stop. There's an active community of people making maps with the editor too. So honestly, you could probably play this game nearly forever if it's your kind of thing. Given the fact that I started out by watching other YouTube strategy videos and then often found myself thinking about how I would construct walls differently for my next play session, you can tell how this review is going. On my trademarked 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, there actually was nothing to eat in this game except for maybe the corpses of your slain enemies, but I'm not sure how horrors might taste. The game is great in spite of the glaring oversight of sustenance. So I packed up my arrows and my poison nets and decided to try my hand at fishing instead, because a catfish is a freshwater horror of its own type.